Picture the North Atlantic in winter, waves like black glass, wind howling, sea spray freezing instantly. Viking mariners crossed these brutal waters for weeks, facing lethal cold without fire. No hearth, no warmth, no flame, just raw endurance. These weren't short trips. They were epic journeys from Norway to Iceland, Greenland, even North America. Hypothermia and frostbite were constant threats. How did they survive? Not by creating heat, but by conserving it, turning their bodies and ships into fortresses against the cold. Their survival depended on deep knowledge of their environment and their own limits. They mastered heat conservation, not heat creation. Every aspect of their journey, ship design, clothing, food, and teamwork, was part of a survival system. They didn't fight the cold with fire, they adapted to it. Let's begin by examining the vessels that carried them across these frozen seas. What made these ships so unique for survival? The Viking longship, sleek, fast and iconic, was built for survival, not comfort. Archaeologists have found no fire pits or hearths on these ships. The overlapping planks, sealed with animal hair and tar, made fire a deadly risk. Fire on a wooden tarred ship would be catastrophic. The Oseberg and Gokstad ships show no sign of fire use. No metal hearths, no stone slabs. The design prioritized speed, flexibility and safety, not warmth. Every detail, from the hull to the mast, was about movement and resilience. The ship was a tool for travel, not a floating home. The absence of fire was a deliberate, essential choice. Life aboard was stripped to the basics. No cooked meals, no radiant heat, just survival. Comforts were reserved for land. Why was fire so dangerous? Let's look closer at the risks. Fire was not just impractical, it was a deadly foe at sea. On a wooden, tarred ship, fire was the ultimate enemy. One spark could ignite sails, ropes or timber, turning the vessel into an inferno. Tar made the ship watertight, but also a floating tinderbox. The crowded deck, packed with wool, furs and supplies, was highly flammable. The ship's constant motion made open flames impossible to control. Smoke would blind and choke the crew, especially in storms. The Vikings chose the cold over the risk of fire, an act of sophisticated risk management. Fire was unpredictable. The cold was a known adversary. Their decision was about control and survival. So, how did they stay warm without fire? The answer: their clothing. Let's see how their garments became their fortress. Without fire, Vikings relied on their own metabolism and smart clothing. Wool was their secret weapon. It insulates even when wet, unlike cotton. Multiple layers trapped air, creating a barrier against the cold. A base layer of fine wool, topped with thicker garments, kept heat in. Heavy wool cloaks, often water-resistant, served as coats by day and blankets by night. Leather boots and mittens, treated for water resistance, protected extremities. Fur-lined hoods and cloaks shielded the head and neck. Their clothing was a dynamic, layered system, adjustable for activity and weather. Every piece had a purpose, forming a comprehensive defense. This wasn't just clothing, it was survival gear, refined over generations. But clothing alone wasn't enough. How did they boost protection when resting? Insulation was the next line of defense. Physical activity generated heat, but rest was dangerous. Vikings didn't have bunks. They huddled along the ship's sides, using sea chests as backrests. Animal hides and wool blankets insulated them from the cold deck. Sheepskins provided a soft, dry barrier. More hides or cloaks covered them. Sometimes a spare sail became a communal tent, trapping warm air for the group. These materials were portable, durable, and effective. Insulation was about preventing heat loss, not creating new heat. The ship became a collection of mobile, multi-purpose insulators. But insulation works best with multiple heat sources. That's where community came in. Without fire, the Vikings created a human hearth, huddling together for warmth. Pressed side by side under hides and sailcloth, the crew pooled their body heat. This communal warmth was a vital survival tool, creating a microclimate in the huddle. Sleeping arrangements were likely organized, rotating positions to share the cold. Keeping everyone warm was essential for the crew's strength and morale. This wasn't just about comfort, it was about survival. Physical closeness built psychological resilience and trust. Their collective warmth was a living fire. But to fuel this internal furnace, they needed the right diet. Surviving the cold required high-calorie fuel. The Viking diet at sea was all about preserved, energy-dense foods. No cooking needed. Dried and salted meat and fish, like stockfish, provided protein and calories. Salted pork and mutton lasted for months, encouraging hydration. Hard-tack biscuits offered carbohydrates, butter and cheese supplied fat for long-lasting energy. Water was carried in casks and leather bags. Hydration was crucial. Their food system was efficient. Maximum calories, minimum spoilage, no fire required. This diet kept their bodies burning hot, even in freezing conditions. Food was more than sustenance, it was thermal regulation. The ship was never meant to be a home, just a means to reach land. The longship wasn't a home, it was a high-performance vehicle. Its purpose? Get from point A to point B fast and safe. Comforts like fire were for land, not sea. As soon as they landed, Vikings built fires, cooked, dried clothes, and recovered. Voyages were planned as sprints between safe havens, minimizing time at sea. The ship was for enduring, the shore was for living. This strategy let them optimize ships for speed and resilience. Sacrificing fire at sea made journeys safer overall. Their survival was about enduring hardship to reach safety. Now, what can we learn from their approach? The fireless Viking voyage is a lesson in adaptation. Survival wasn't about conquering nature, but working with it. Vikings used ship design, clothing, diet and teamwork to overcome the cold. Every item had a purpose, nothing was wasted. Their bodies were the primary survival tool, protected by layers, fueled by food, and warmed by community. Their system relied on ingenuity and cooperation, not a single point of failure. Even today, their approach teaches us the value of insulation, nutrition, and community. Resilience is about mindset, adaptability, resourcefulness, and smart risk assessment. The Vikings were skilled survivors, not reckless brutes. Their story is a testament to human ingenuity and endurance. Thanks for joining this journey. Subscribe for more hidden histories, and let us know what Viking secrets you want to explore next.